All right, let's talk about a perfect storm that's brewing and heading straight for Ontario's industrial sector. And it's got a date, 2026. Now, this isn't just some minor tweak in regulations. We're talking about a massive shift that's going to create some clear winners and some definite losers. In this explainer, we're going to break down how this looming waste crisis can go from a potentially business-ending threat to a huge competitive advantage.
You know, sometimes a single quote just hits you, and this one, it nails it. For decades, industries in Ontario have had a pretty simple, if not exactly glamorous, solution for their industrial waste. Just ship it over to Michigan. Well, that's all coming to an end. The days of Michigan being the region's so-called cesspool are over, and believe me, the shockwaves are going to be felt by every single producer out there.
So what's feeding this perfect storm? Well, it's basically a head-on collision between two massive forces. On one side, you've got some aggressive U.S. trade protectionism, and on the other, a complete overhaul of Ontario's own environmental policies. Let's dig into how these two are mixing together to create a real crisis for local businesses.
Okay, let's just look at the numbers, because they are absolutely brutal. Before 2025, tariffs were basically nothing. Tipping fees in Michigan were about 36 cents a ton. And USMCA compliance? You just certified it yourself. Easy. But in 2026, bam, a 10% tariff. Tipping fees are set to jump by more than 200%. And that easy paperwork? It's now a high-scrutiny, microscope on everything process. The financial squeeze is coming hard, and it's coming from every direction.
And all of this creates what the source calls a compliance vacuum. Think about it. From the South, the U.S. is slapping on these unavoidable 10% tariffs to protect their own industries. And from the North, right here at home, the Ontario government is basically stepping back and saying, hey, private sector, climate accountability, and all the proof that goes with it, that's on you now. So businesses are getting caught in this vice grip, squeezed from both sides.
So there's a hard deadline for all of this, a date you got to circle on your calendar. January 1st, 2026. This is the regulatory cliff. It's the moment when a huge group of businesses, what the report calls the orphan sector, is essentially going to be left out in the cold.
So who are these orphans? We're talking about your small to mid-sized manufacturing businesses. Come January 1st, 2026, Ontario's municipalities are officially out of the commercial recycling game. And the giant waste companies, they're chasing massive multi-year contracts. They're not going to bother with, the local cabinet shop in Brampton. All of a sudden, these SMBs are going to have piles of waste and literally no one to call to pick it up.
And make no mistake, this is way more than just an inconvenience. These are existential threats. First, your business just stops. If waste piles up, your whole operation grinds to a halt. Second, you fall out of compliance. The regulators, RPRA, they want a perfect, unchangeable audit trail, and proving it is now 100% your problem. And third, you're exposed to hidden taxes you didn't even know existed, all buried inside those simple, all-in-one bin rates.
Okay, so that's the bad news. And yeah, it's a big deal. But here's the thing about a storm. It forces you to build something stronger. And this crisis is creating the perfect conditions for a totally new, much smarter economic model. A kind of financial shield that won't just protect businesses, but actually help them grow.
It all starts with this idea called decoupled billing. It sounds fancy, but the concept is super simple. Instead of one single price for your bin, you split it in two, the base rental fee and the disposal fees, which are based on weight. Why is this such a game changer? Because it gives you total transparency. It lets you see, and more importantly, prove exactly how you're avoiding all those new hidden surcharges and levies. It's a financial defense strategy.
Just look at this chart. It lays it all out, clear as day. On the left, you've got your old school bundled rate, say $460. Looks simple, right? But it's hiding all sorts of new taxes. Now look at the decoupled rate. Your base rate might be $350. And yeah, you see the other fees, but now you see them. That transparency gives you the power to actually manage them, to reduce them, and to shield your business from costs you were paying without even knowing it.
And this is where it gets really clever, because it's not just about the numbers, it's about psychology. We have to stop thinking of that weight fee as a penalty. With this model, it's reframed as a diversion pass. It's basically a credit you earn, a value-added reward for sorting your materials correctly and optimizing what you throw out. It completely changes the mindset on the job site. Waste is no longer just a liability, it's a resource.
All right, I know what you're thinking. This sounds great in theory, but how on earth do you pull this off on a real, messy job site? Well, that's where the tech comes in. This is the engine that makes the whole thing run.
what the source calls the digital refinery. And it's designed to have zero friction.
And it's not some complicated software you need a PhD to run. It's a dead simple 3-step process. Step 1. Your supervisor on site pulls out their phone and just texts a picture of the load. That's it. An AI instantly looks at the photo and scores the quality. Step 2. The system crunches the numbers and calculates how much use saved on levies, right then and there. Step 3. A special secure hold-to-seal feature locks it all in, creating a tamper-proof digital record. It makes a super complex compliance job as easy as sending a text message.
So let's peek under the hood for a sec. This is a whole tech stack working together. You've got a bot running on Twilio or WhatsApp to grab that first photo. That's your unchangeable record of origin. Then, Google's Gemini AI does the heavy lifting, visually scoring the load. All of that data gets indexed in AlloyDB so it's ready for an audit at a moment's notice. And the final piece, Studio Reports generates those professional PDF certificates of origin that the regulators need to see. It's a bulletproof, end-to-end audit trail. Okay, so we've built the shield. We've defended against the risks. We've streamlined the whole thing. But now we get to the really exciting part. This is where we stop playing defense and start playing offense. This is where we go beyond just saving money and start talking about creating brand new revenue. This is how your waste literally becomes wealth. And it all comes down to one magic number, 85%. You need to burn this number into your brain. Under the USMCA trade deal, to avoid a completely crippling 15% surcharge on your goods, you have to prove that 85% of your product's value came from North America. And if you can't provide a perfect, verifiable record for your entire supply chain, which, yes, includes your waste stream, you simply can't prove it. This is the key to unlocking that proof.
And this isn't just about software. The physical logistics get a major upgrade too. We're not talking about little bins anymore. We're talking about massive 144-yard walking floor trailers. With that kind of hardware, a company can transform itself from just a waste hauler into what's called a biocarbon supply chain integrator. They can gather huge volumes of clean wood waste, becoming a reliable supplier for Ontario's entire bioeconomy.
So, let's put it all together. What is the final, ultimate payoff here? What's the grand prize? First, you keep that USMCA shield up, making sure your products cross the border tariff-free. Second, you literally transform your waste into carbon dividends. These are carbon removal certificates you can sell as a brand new financial asset. You can even make money off the methane emissions you've avoided. And finally, you position your company as a critical supplier in Ontario's new bioeconomy. You're not just making widgets anymore, you're a key part of a sustainable, circular supply chain.
And that brings us right back to the beginning. It all comes down to a single question. In 2026, when this perfect storm finally hits, every single business in Ontario is going to have to answer this. Is your waste a crippling liability, one that's going to drag you down with fines and operational headaches? Or is it a verified, monetizable asset that gives you a powerful, undeniable edge over your competition? The answer to that question is going to define who wins and who loses in this whole new world.